Manchester United want a striker. That is the priority. We all know that. We need a striker. But the striker we sign would massively depend on how much money is raised throughout. Delap looks the favourite right now. But Osimhen, that's one name that Manchester United really like. Gyökeres as well. And maybe the way to afford one of those players would be selling a player like Garnacho. Pure profit. Interest from Chelsea and Napoli again today. And there is talk coming out that Ruben Amorim is willing to let Garnacho go. We're going to talk about the striking news. We're going to talk about Garnacho's future and more. There's updates on Manchester United paying interest in Xavi Simons. Amorim has plans for academy players. Manchester United to sign some more young players to bring into the academy, like a Sekou Kone and that Sekou Kone, Chido type player. And of course, Captain Bruno, other things that Bruno's been doing in and around the club as a leader captain. Fantastic. So let's start with the news in regards to Delap and Osimhen, and then we're going to go more into the Garnacho stories as it somewhat links to what's been said here by Chris Wheeler. So, Manchester United have held discussions about a move for Delap. Delap has a 40 million release clause if Ipswich are relegated, and Victor Osimhen is on United's radar, and the move could be more involved with a swap deal in regards to Garnacho. Now, it wouldn't be like a straight swap or anything like that. United value Garnacho at 60, Osimhen's release clause is about 58 million, because Manchester United want the PSR benefits of selling Garnacho, so I think it will be, we sell Garnacho for this price, and Napoli will sell us Osimhen for this price. I think that's what would happen. Now, Delap, for me, is Man United's favourite target, but is also one of Chelsea's priorities because of the 40 million release clause. If Ipswich get relegated, which is probably a given now, unless something crazy happens, he's obviously proven in the Premier League that he can get a decent number of goals. 10 goals and 2 assists this season is decent. It's not amazing, but when you look at the side he's playing for, when you look at his age and you look at his all-round play, he's definitely proven he is a solid striker. So Delap is definitely one to watch. I like Delap, I just don't love Delap. I like Delap because I think he's good. I like Delap because I think he's quality, and I think he can definitely improve us. But he's not the finished article yet. And I think when you bring in someone like Victor Osimhen, there's 15, 20 goal striker there. That's 15, 20 Premier League goals. With Delap, 10's better than what we've got right now. But I want a 15, 20 goal striker. That's my only stance. And I think with Napoli's interest in Garnacho, maybe Manchester United use that to try and get a deal done for Osimhen, although his wages will also be taken into account. So what is Amorim's sort of decision on Garnacho, and could he actually go? Garnacho could leave Manchester United this summer. Ruben Amorim counts on him but prefers other players in his position. Now, I think this is pretty fair. I think that's very true. I think Amorim likes that Garnacho is always getting into dangerous positions, always energetic, always chasing back, running. He gives something that nobody else in this team gives. He's the pace outlet, he's the runner, he's the energy. So Ruben Amorim will like him and like to use him because he gives something different, but I don't think Ruben Amorim thinks he's the guy for his system in the long term. Maybe potential-wise he could be, but I think Ruben Amorim knows if he could get that left hand for his system, he'd probably sacrifice Garnacho for that. I think he likes that Garnacho brings energy and something different. With Ahmad out injured, with Rashford gone, we need Garnacho. I think Rashford and Ahmad are better players than him. But I do think if an opportunity to sell Garnacho comes with for 60 million and they say, well, we could get Mbeumo, we could get Cunha to replace Garnacho with, I think that Ruben Amorim would be very open to making that kind of decision. We also know that Chelsea could revisit a move for Alejandro Garnacho this summer, and Napoli are also keen, and that Amorim is willing to sell Garnacho this summer if the right replacement can be found, as he believes others may suit his system better. So, in regards to Garnacho in his future, we're not actively looking to sell Garnacho. We're not actively trying to force Garnacho out. There's a belief that he can be a good player. There's a belief that there's potential there. He brings something unique. But United would not say no to offers in that 60, 70 million mark. Pure FFP profit. I think Manchester United, if they found a replacement for Garnacho, they got good money for Garnacho, I think Ruben Amorim and United would be okay to do that because we need that sort of left hand with a bit of experience. I still think, to be honest, we need about 2 or 3 attacking reinforcements. You get an Osimhen in, you get a Cunha in, but even if you sell Garnacho, I still think we'd need another attacking reinforcement or a wing-back that could maybe play right 10 as well. But I think with Garnacho, obviously, I don't think he had the best game yesterday. I think he's threatening and he gets into dangerous positions and he trapped back and he worked hard and he covered a lot of ground, but he's wasteful in the final third. He's not physically quite there yet. He looks a little bit like an academy kid playing in that last game because he kept losing his duels and kept shooting. Garnacho is young, he's raw, he's not finished yet. He the finished article yet. He can still be a very, very good player. but you see elements of why he's not ready yet, I think, in recent games. And I think you see elements of what it brings. The pace coming off the bench, Ruthless can make things happen, and that's why we need him, because we've got nobody else. But we also can see his rawness, and I think we need a ready-made player. I think Garnacho's brilliant off the bench, and I'm happy for Garnacho to stay, come off the bench, make an impact, but we need that 10 that's going to start, and we need that striker that's going to start next season. And only way to maybe fund a Cunha and an Osimhen, which would be my two options, would be by selling a Garnacho or selling a Kobe Mainoo, because we need the funds to do that. 40 million for Rashford, 30 million for Anthony, 25 million for Sancho as a start, Casemiro off as a start, the players leaving on the free as a start, but we need a wing back, we need another centre back for depth, we need a player that can progress the ball in the pivot. That's really important. We need a striker, we need a 10. There's even talk of goalkeeper. So Amorim was asked about Garnacho and sort of bad choices that he makes in the game, so looking to shoot nearly every time he gets the ball. He said, it can happen. The most important thing for me is when he has to come back and defend, he does it. Sometimes he overdoes it, but I think he wants to help the team. He does his best. Sometimes he doesn't make the best choice, but he's not the only one today, and I think that's fair. Garnacho frustrated me again today. I think he's better on the right. I didn't like that he was moved to the left because he's always looking to shoot and is a bit predictable and selfish, but whenever Garnacho had the ball, there was a drive forward and there was something happening. Like, every time we were dangerous, it was Garnacho. It just was that he wasn't super dangerous. His shots were predictable when he was missing a lot. He runs a lot and he brings a bit of danger, because I don't think we got Zirks in the game. I don't think we got Højlund in the game. I thought Bruno played better when he was deeper. He definitely brought that danger and he did their work rate. And I could see why Ruben Amorim wanted him, but he was so wasteful in the final third. And I think we need players that make better decisions in the final third. We need players that are better in the final third to become a better team. Talking of that, it was said that Ruben Amorim has warned that any Manchester United players who he deems to be harming the squad will be shipped out this summer. We know that Ineos are going to be pretty brutal with the clear out. Now, this was a report from Laurie Whitwell a couple of days ago. He said, the Victor Gyökeres prospect is lukewarm due to the total cost of the deal. Other options such as Delap are being explored. Wilcox is a big fan of the player. United's tight budget is a major factor for options, including Osimhen, whose salary would be an obstacle. Some sort of swap deal could make a more financially feasible, which basically is the same as what Chris Wheeler said, but Laurie Whitwell said it 3 days ago. So what Laurie Whitwell is saying here is, we love a Gyökeres. We love a Gyökeres. We'd love an Osimhen, but because of the fee and the wages and the fact that we probably need to sign about 5 players this summer, it's not feasibly possible right now. That doesn't mean it won't happen. If you sell Garnacho, Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, it can very much happen if the players want to come to us. But right now, the credible sources of information are saying the Delap is the most realistic, which, yeah, makes sense. Other transfer news coming in was from Fabrizio Romano. He said that Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal and Chelsea are very well informed on the developments of Xavi Simons. He could be available for 60 million, and sources believe Premier League could be a credible destination. So this is a good source in Romano. We had a big interest in Xavi Simons last summer. This is my stance on Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons is a good player. Xavi Simons works well in the system. I'd happily take Xavi Simons at Manchester United. Do I think he's a little bit overrated? Yes. Do I think he's a little bit expensive at 60 million? Yes. A 40 million deal, I'd do it. I like Xavi Simons. He's got quality. He's a good player, but he's not someone that I would break the bank for. I'd rather spend 60 million on Cunha. He's got more goals and more assists this season, Cunha, in the Premier League for a worse side. Xavi Simons is good. He improves the side. He suits the system, but it's a deal that I like, but I don't love. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Also, Chris Wheeler said this about Bruno, and I wanted to give him a shout out. Bruno Fernandes checks in with United players who are out on loan and stays in touch with members of staff he was close to who have been made redundant. Like, what? I feel like every time I hear a story about Bruno, he's helping the youth, he's helping the players on loan, he's helping the academy players, experienced players, he's helping the staff, he's playing for things. He's a proper captain, and I can't believe people don't see that. Romano did say that United have added 4 to 5 names to their striker target list and will make a decision based on budget availability. Delap number 1, because that's the most realistic right now. I think Osimhen and Gyökeres are 2 and 3, but I think we don't know how realistic that is. I think Akite is number 4, but again, it depends on price. And I'd assume number 5 is Mateta. We have interest in Sesko, but it's not that advanced. We have interest in David, but there's a lot of competition there. I think those would be the 5 strikers we're in for. Now into our last story. United's academy recruitment department are gearing up for an ambitious summer transfer window as they look to bring some of the country's biggest talents to Carrington. Preliminary work has begun for a number of high-rated players. They are hoping to be a competitive force in the market, comparable with that of Man City and Chelsea in years to come, said Academy Scoop. We brought in Sekou Kone, we brought in obviously Chido, we brought in Diego Leon, we brought in Aiden Heaven. We're looking to do more of these kind of deals, which is good to see. And also the Muppeteer said we are looking at a French striker abroad as well, but we haven't got confirmation on that name. Another thing is we know that Ruben Amorim is willing to give academy players more minutes and break them in, particularly maybe have more of a look in pre-season. He said during the break he had time to watch a lot of our matches and get to know the young players we have in training better. We had time to think about next season. So he's definitely planning ahead of next season. Let me know your thoughts on all the news, and this is your 10-minute roundup. Thank you for watching. Bye.